dates, international tour dates, not just in South Africa and not just in the United States, but other African countries. One of those being Nigeria. Once word got out to Nigerians in Nigeria, in the country, that Tyla had a Lagos December 22nd, 2026 tour date, there was a conversation that had. So we follow this with two videos that we'll watch. The first one, somebody's asking the question, should Tyla be allowed to perform in Nigeria, especially with what is going on in her home country of South Africa? I apologize if I didn't get into why this is so controversial, but this first video, we'll break it down in the best way possible. Stay tuned and give me a moment here.
Tyla is planning a concert in Nigeria. After the whole xenophobia, killing Nigerians, all of that, she never said anything. She wants to come to Nigeria to perform, to make money off of Nigerians. You know what I say? I say Nigerians don't say anything. Go to that concert, stand outside, watch the people who go in the concert. When they come out, beat them. The people who decided to give Tyla money, regardless of everything that's going on, when they come out, when they're walking out the concert, we lead Mukuna beat the shiggy come out for them. Made it learn. So Tyla is planning a concert in Nigeria. After the whole xenophobia, killing Nigerians, all of that, she never said anything. She wants to come to Nigeria to perform, to make money off of Nigerians. You know what I say? I say Nigerians don't say anything. Go to that concert, stand outside, watch the people who go in the concert. When they come out, beat them. The people who decided to give Tyla money, regardless of everything that's going on, when they come out, when they're walking out the concert, we lead Mukuna beat the shiggy come out for them. Made it learn.
And we'll go to our second video that with the Shoot the Breeze topic number 2 question. Did Nigerians get it right? You guys heard the first video. I don't know this guy's name. I should know his name, but he's stating, she's going on tour and she has a Lagos date of December 22nd, 2026. And with everything going on in her home country and her not speaking up about it, whether for or against it, go ahead and attend the concert, but just stay on the outside and observe on who's going in. And then when the concert's done, go ahead and take action. Take the Carlos Cooks approach. If you know, you know. We go to YouTube for our second video and what has transpired since controversy and conversation started happening after people realized it, especially in Nigeria. Hey, Tyla from South Africa is going to have a concert here, especially with what's going on in her home country. Let's take a listen.
Tyla has lost her concert in Nigeria. The Tyla concert in Lagos, Nigeria for the 22nd of December has been cancelled, it seems. And it's not because of ticket sales. It's not because of promotion. It's not because of anything that you would normally associate with cancelling a concert of that scale. It's because of what's been happening in South Africa with the Afrophobia and the xenophobia situation, with the migrants or immigrants marches, Operation Dudula. And now it seems like consequences of these things have actually started taking place. I want to understand what was going through Tyla's brain when they scheduled that concert. They need to fire whoever is handling her, because I cannot imagine she's the one who made that decision to book a concert in Nigeria, and the announcement of which is coming literally 1 month after the Operation Dudula deadline of June 30th, where Nigerians have been the primary focus of the push that some sections of the South African community and the people who were marching were forcing to get out of the country. When you look at something like this, this is the result of what happened. And why I said that it is insane that they would do this is that Tyla never said anything. During all of this, these marches and this tension that has existed in South Africa, Tyla never said anything. You're one of the big young artists in the country. You've got all of this negative, bad press coming out in terms of the relationship between South Africa and other African nations. She never had anything to say, never made any statements in support of the immigrants that were getting kicked out, never made any statements condemning what was going on. And, some people will say, well, she's not a politician. Oh, well, you don't need to be a politician to be human. You don't need to be a politician to be human. And listen, I don't want to put it all on her because no South African artist spoke about it. Like, I can't think of many. I mean, I'm sure there might be some here and there, but most did not. And it's the same reason why a lot of people have issues with Trevor Noah, for example. You're one of the most well-known South Africans. And while all of this was going on, absolutely nothing was said. It actually makes you now question whenever he does say something about anything. Can you take it seriously? But for this,
we'll go ahead and avoid a YouTube strike if at all is coming. So I'll just go ahead and put that on mute. It's a longer video, but I am Jacadero. If you're just tuning in, proudly filling in for Brother Koku here on Shoot the Breeze, episode 251 on the Bitter Medicine Podcast on KWAZ Radio. We're getting into our topics. Our second topic, asking the question, did Nigerians get it right? This came with two videos. The first video, a Nigerian living in the United States stating, yeah, this is a stupid idea, when the first announcement of Tyla's Lagos, Nigeria date was announced. And then shortly afterwards, after internet, social media commotion, her and her team canceling literally overnight the Lagos, Nigeria tour. And then this gentleman that you see on the screen stating that this was a bad move, just having Nigeria even as a tour date with what had happened all 2026 and recently on June 30th, when there was a deadline for African immigrants to leave the country. Anthony, let's start with you, my guy. Did Nigerians get it right?
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm going to say it like this. Jacadero. Okay. The first thing is this. All right. If I was Tyler, I wouldn't have wanted to stop in Nigeria either. You know what I'm saying? That was a stupid idea for whoever put a tour thing together. I'm saying nothing against our Nigerian brothers and sisters, but what I'm saying for everything that has been going on, you know what I'm saying, with the anti-immigrant, the Afrophobia as it's being called, against the xenophobia against other neighboring African people, people from neighboring African nations going on in South Africa. You know what I'm saying? If you a Tyler, you a South African artist, and you go into a country where the brunt of that is, has been focused at Nigeria. I mean, we all done heard the stuff that those certain groups, those minority groups of South Africans say about Nigerian people, call them criminals and drug, everything. We know all of the stuff that they say. Okay, and we know that they've been attacking, that some of those groups, fringe groups, were attacking Nigerians as well as other African nationals in the area. So as an artist, okay, that's and I'm from this country, I definitely wouldn't want to go there. I mean, for safety purposes, you know what I'm saying? Just for that. Okay, look here. You know what? I might go there and a lot of people might love me. They might love Tyler's music. I'm quite sure a lot of Nigerians love Tyler's music. You know what I'm saying? And probably the majority would probably not be of that mindset. Oh, let's go in and act crazy at the concert. The majority of them probably will love it, because you talking about young people. And Amapiano music is a very popular music. I love Amapiano music. But I'm just saying, from a safety point of view, I was like, I probably ought not to go there. And of course we know Tyler's, like the brother said, no, she's not a politician. You know what I'm saying? And she shouldn't be. She's an artist. You know what Brother Malcolm said about Negro celebrities. You know what I'm saying? We know what he said about the ones here in this country. So I mean, what you think they're gonna do in that country? Okay, yeah, she her music is popular. She wants to play her music. No, she don't want to get involved in no politics. She don't want to talk about whether I'm black or mixed or whatever, none of that stuff there. She just want to be an artist. Okay, so yeah, for us politically, us black conscious brothers and sisters, we'll look at it like, well, damn, you ain't even a factor to us. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not making a statement. I understand that. But some people don't want to be politicians. Some people don't care. And they just want to be artists. She's one of those people. But I'm just saying, but as far as the brother saying attack other brothers and sisters who come to the concert, no stuff like that. I mean, I think that ain't the solution to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand what that is. Well, we're gonna attack. We're gonna attack, or we're gonna confront these brothers and sisters who come to the concert and everything. I mean, to me, this whole, it's funny how this whole issue, this South Africa issue, with everything that's going on like that, is like basically causing a lot of problems in Pan Africanism. In the Pan-African, in the Black world, in the Pan-Africanist world. You know what I'm saying? We having all people going rooting at soccer games against South African soccer team, and you know what I'm saying, and the hell with South Africa, and rooting for Morocco, one of the worst places for Black people on the continent. Rooting for Mexico, rooting for everybody but them. And we understand where all the vitriol is coming from. But I'm just like, when we gonna sit down? When the leadership in South Africa gonna sit down with the leadership in Nigeria and with the other countries where they're having all of these problems? The Afrophobia, the xenophobia, whatever. And I like what you're saying about what's his name, Trevor Noah. I can't stand him. But when we gonna sit down and talk to each other instead of throwing sticks and stones at each other? You know what I'm saying? South Africans, Black South Africans, Nigerians, Zimbabweans, Zambians, everybody. When we gonna work this thing out? You know what I'm saying? And using like our artists and everything like that, like Tyler, whatever our artists. Now Nigerian artists can't go down there. They can't go to Nigeria. I mean, we letting something like this divide us, and these are two of the most important countries in Africa. As far as like the whole Black world, two of the most important countries in the Black world, the biggest economies on the continent, two of the biggest economies, you know what I'm saying? Engines of the African world, of the Black world, you know what I'm saying? Two countries that we definitely need, you know what I'm saying, for Black empowerment globally. I mean, I just think that, the whole take is a bad take. I think to me it's a bad look, from the point of view of like, okay, well, like I said, we understand who Tyler is. She's a celebrity and she's not into politics, everything. But the brother saying like, what he said, I don't think that's too cool, man. I think it's a better way than that. I don't want to go on too long, man. I'll leave it right there. But I just think it's a bad take on his part too, on the brother's part. I mean, I can see where they're coming from and agree with some of it, but this further pushing the bullshit ain't helping nothing.
I appreciate it, Anthony. That brother's name, I think, is Gothica Bulky. Please, if you're Nigerian American, and you wanna let me know the correct pronunciation, you let me know. But in the chat, Koku at 911 says Tyler is a bit tone deaf. Is it her or is it her team? I say this because Nigeria has MTN Operations. That's a telecommunication company that provides one of the biggest cell phone provider services in West Africa. And so maybe MTN also had a voice in this and said, yeah, why not? Let's go ahead and show that, beyond socio-political matters, let's go ahead and show solidarity. I try not to laugh when I say that, but maybe that conversation was as had. Trigger Happy in the chat also says, I always hated her distancing from black. Colored is a dumb category that should be eliminated, and those who are colored should use a new name in line with other Black people. For those that are not aware, Tyla is of the colored community. It's not, again, she's from South Africa. They have their own terms for racial designations. But I know that just from looking at pictures of her parents, it looks like she is, she comes from Indian descent. Again, people from India that moved a long time ago to South Africa. And so she's possibly that, or for sure she's that, and then possibly even colored. But who knows? Maybe her team is telling her, don't even get involved in racial identity. We want you to be a global superstar, and maybe that could hurt your brand. What say you, Kofi? Everything that you've heard, did Nigerians get it right with getting Tyla's upcoming tour date in December canceled?
This is, I really don't like talking about celebrities, and Anthony touched on it, and I'm going to expand upon it. They're celebrities. You know what I'm saying? So let's break. I like words. I like words. I like looking at words and see what their meanings are. A celebrity is something to celebrate. I ain't celebrating no goddamn body, especially someone like this. And this is the problem. People look at celebrities in a celebratory way and think like, oh, everything they say, everything they do, everything they don't do, and like that is something to be hyper focused on. Like Anthony said, like all celebrities are, you gotta be aware of the celebrities. Now, again, we back in the 50s and 60s, we had some very good celebrities. So you had your not right now, but you had your Jim Browns, you had your Harry Belafontes, you had your Nina Simones, you had your Billie Holiday. You had your Dick Gregors, you had people that, your Muhammad Ali's, you had a lot of people that put their career on the line as well, knowing like, yeah, this is my career, this is my job, but at the end of the day, I'm a black man, I'm a black woman, right? And I'm speaking for my people. This problem that I have, these issues I have, is bigger than my quote unquote so-called career or whatever. So I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. It's like, who cares? Who cares? Oh my gosh, Tyler's. Who cares? She has she ever been politically dip her toe in the political landscape at all? I wouldn't say so. You know what I'm saying? Now, someone like her, a hater or whatever, people like, your Cardi B's, your T.I.'s, and your Ice Cubes, and your, yes, I'm going to say it, your Kanye West. Love them or hate them. You could critique them because they involve themselves within politics. So they're celebrities and they're also political mouthpieces. Another thing that the brother here and Anthony opened my eyes to was Trevor Noah. I like Trevor Noah, but the fact that he has not said anything, and I was like, oh my God, you guys are absolutely right. Trevor Noah is silent on this whole thing as a South African. Now, if you I looked at Trevor Noah's stand-up and his content, he doesn't shy away from race. He doesn't at all. He doesn't shy away from race. He's talking about him as a black person. He considers himself a black person, even though he's a mulatto, he's a colored and whatever. He moves like he's a black person. I respect him for that in his commentary. But now that Anthony and this brother said like Trevor Noah is silent, I'm like, ooh. Now I gotta give him a really, really, really gotta side eye him now. Like, wow, for you to stay silent right now is insane. It's totally insane. And I pretty much leave it there. He's not a celebrity to celebrate at all. And I'll leave it at that and pass the mic.
I appreciate it, Kofi. What's interesting is that I never. Maybe because I don't follow Trevor Noah, I don't really have any much issue with him, but I never paid attention that he never spoke up. Now, he did have his own pretty much watch parties and watch breakdowns during the World Cup 2026. So maybe he thought to himself, hey, if I say something now, it's going to take away from what I'm trying to do with get viewership of the World Cup. Now, is that a cop-out? Is that a crutch? I don't know. I'm not a celebrity, so... but I do know that he, all this was going on, especially during the June 30th deadline for immigrants in South Africa to leave by force or by fire. Trevor Noah was having watch parties for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. So maybe he just didn't want to take away from that. I don't know. Real Black Gentleman, what say you? Did Nigerians get this right with getting Tyler's December tour date canceled? I laugh just because, my goodness gracious, if this is what's going to happen, if this is what's happening, I can only imagine for the years to come on what we're about to do here. Go ahead, Real Black Gentleman.
I mean, it's people catching strays, I mean, it's catching strays in the culture. I mean, again, when we talk about South Africa, I think the whole idea of you have native South Africans, Black South Africans, who are checking papers like rampantly, kicking people out of hospitals. And again, it's just Black people, so it is Afrophobic. It's not all phobic. We are not seeing this. I used to, not too long ago, I would see things that made me feel very proud of South Africa. I saw a lot of standing up for self. I saw a lot of that, and I thought, yeah, like, maybe in the early 2000s, like, yeah, I think Black people gonna get together. You know what I'm saying? Mugabe was still there. Look, what would Mugabe say about this? bruh. What will Mugabe say about all of this? Look, the thing is, like, them Afrikaners, they want to, like, make it a hard expansionist push. It's not so much to say they want to secede and make Cape Town, because well, white folks control, like, own most of the country, right? You know what I'm saying? And so, like, it's not just the Cape. You know, they want to get they want to keep black people off in the East, far away from how they smuggling in white fucking mercenaries into South Africa. And at the same time, these South Africans, these black South Africans, whatever stripe or whatnot, are, in spite of this geography, are alienating the people and nations of those closest to them. They're going ham against Mozambique. I don't know why. Look, I know some Al Qaeda and all that, some Islamists. I get that, you know, people can infiltrate, but I don't think it's like that. I think Mozambique can hold that down. And like, but we talking about Zimbabwe. They hating. They are these groups are, and it's just amplified. And what it is, it's just like an irritation, an inflammation that is just. You know, when you have an inflammation, you don't want that to keep going, because it makes your immune system, right, of your nation fatigue out. There's no need for it. It's like whatever motives they have. And the worst part about it is, even if it was homegrown and I'm just deciding I want to do right by my country, you have these white people hear something like that, you don't think they're going to feed fuel to the fire? They're going to just make your path a little bit easier for you to keep doing what you're doing off in the shadows? That don't make no sense. Like Tyler catching strays, they catching strays. I catching strays. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Nigeria is Nigeria. Nigeria got its pull. I mean, when we talk about South, you know, as far as the economy, it's messed up because, I mean, it's like the black South Africans are only getting the residual wealth of just the country. I mean, and even that is just, it's really, I mean, that land situation is critical. I mean, frankly, you wouldn't need as many black people in the country as possible. I would even go so far as to say, it's like, if black South Africa is the president, all that, just go balls to the wall and just be like, look, all the countries surrounding us, we should just be in political union. Yeah. That way it's just like one big mass. And then, you know, that might trigger the Afrikaners to make a rash decision and start actually doing some cold, low intensities type stuff to destabilize the greater political union. But they want to keep, these white people would love just to keep the black South Africans in their own little bubble and be like, don't worry about the outside world. You believe in the fatherland and all that nonsense. Like, and the thing is, the way it's just a wicked system, because I mean, the black people don't have they might have quote, quote, political power, but they don't have the economic, the land. Come on, man, the land, bruh. I mean, it's not a farm. It's annexed claims. You know what I'm saying? It's hostile territories. It's territory that you as a black person don't necessarily feel safe on. And the black people know the bounds of those lands, right? Because I'm sure those white people try to fence off every little acre that they can. And so, like, I'm sick of it because it's weak as hell. And I'm the fact that, you know, people, you know, again, the fence riders aren't saying anything. Like catching strays. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got to say.
I appreciate it, real black gentleman. Catching strays, yeah. Trigger Happy agrees with you. Honestly, he says, I think this is mostly Nigeria's way of getting back at South Africans in a nonviolent way. You could say because Tyler is never going to say anything. Yeah, I don't expect her to say anything either. You know, for those that are not aware, you know, she was on the Breakfast Club, if not last year, the year before that, when asked about what she identifies as ethnically and racially. And let's just say she, like Anthony Fauci this week, the former head of the CDC, she pleaded the fifth. she pleaded that fifth. All right. I don't want to get too far away with this. Brother Bakari, from everything that you've heard, man, Did Nigerians get this right with getting Tyla and her team to cancel that Lagos Nigeria date in December?
Yes, they got it right. To just be plain and simple. Yeah, they got it right. And I don't know who Tyla is. I was sitting here wondering. I'm glad y'all said it, but sitting around waiting on. And even if she did say something, the tensions between the country and what has happened, it could very well, let's say hypothetically, she came out and spoke out very hard against it, right? With everything that has happened, it might not be safe for her, no way. So I would just say Nigeria did the right thing. Fuck them. The hell with Tyla, whoever the hell she is, colored. She ain't one of us, I guess. But just to answer the question, yeah. Because I don't know much about Tyla. So don't give a damn about Tyla. So I say, yeah, Nigeria did the right thing. Now I'm waiting on them to do the right thing about them damn Chinese and all them people too. But just talking about this, yes, she did the right thing.
I appreciate it, Brother Bakari. Before we move on to the third topic here in the chat, Tragapi says that response right there with Tyla a few years ago being asked on the Breakfast Club here in the United States what she identifies as racially and ethnically, and she went silent. She said that she showed me she's a coward. It's not hard to answer a question of identity. Back to this topic at hand, did Nigerians get this right with everything that's going on socially, politically, of the anti-immigrant protests and movement and sentiment in South Africa, and Nigerians and Ghanaians being the main target of that? My question to you as panelists, guys, I know that, well, I don't know. I'm going to assume that you guys have some ages on me. Lucky Dube was a South African reggae artist. If this was going on during his time, and Nigerians did the same, or they didn't even get to that point where, you know, they got him to cancel a concert in Lagos, Nigeria, with anti-immigrant Afrophobia protests happening, would you guys also feel the same? Would you guys say, hey, yeah, like Nigerians are in their right to stop a concert of Lucky Dube happening? Again, this is presuming that you guys know who Lucky Dube is. Let me know.
I mean, I don't know who it is.
Go ahead.
Well, I'll let someone speak who knows more.
Okay, you going, black gentleman? Okay, I'll go. Jagadero.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. No, I didn't. No, I thought we was bumping again. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna just say I just be brief about it. Now, I mean, I'm old enough to know who Lucky Dube was. You know who he is. You know what I'm saying? You know, I listen to his music. You know, he's one of my favorite reggae artists from the continent. But I just want to say that this right here, if you remember, it was some years ago, Lucky Dube almost got killed. I think he was like victim of a robbery or something. He almost got killed in South Africa because they thought he was from another nation.
Yeah, he actually was killed in that
that I know it was something like that. I know it was years ago. That's what I remember. You know, it was so long. It was a while ago. But I know because they thought he was somebody else when the South African. Yeah, that's what I thought it. I thought it was something like that. You know, yeah.
Yeah, the story goes is that one of the robbers said, we assumed that he was Zimbabwean. We didn't even know it was Lucky Dube. Tough. I guess, I guess you guys would have to know who that is. But all right. So I guess the consensus is that, Tyla was out of her mind and that Nigerians did get it right. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to Shoot the Breeze topic number 3. This one deals with the thumbnail for this broadcast here today. We go to the Caribbean, our Spanish-speaking Caribbean island. There's not too many of them, but one of them has been at war with the United States, or vice versa. Maybe the United States has been at war with this country, again, in the Caribbean, Spanish-speaking island, since longer than I can remember, way before I was even born. And Shoot the Breeze topic number 3 asks, will the United States be invading Cuba this year? This comes about because in the past few days, tensions have been growing more than ever. At the beginning of this year, just to give you guys a background, with the kidnapping of Nicolas Maduro, the former president of Venezuela, and the oil reserves that Venezuela was sending off to help establish and continue to maintain Cuba's electrical grid. That stopped. And now the oil reserves off of the coast of Venezuela are under the control of the United States military. Cuba has been suffering from daily blackouts. To date, Cuba is going through 14 hours of a blackout out of a 24-hour period. So meaning that if you have a generator, that's probably not working more than half of the time. Hospitals being able to work, that's less likely to happen. Also, if you have a refrigerator, let's go on the micro level. If you have a refrigerator at home, you probably aren't using or buying anything that needs to be refrigerated. For more on this, we go to our only video that talks about what exactly is going on with Cuba. And we ask again, will the United States be invading Cuba this year? Maybe, just maybe this video will go into further detail about why U.S. invasion is even a conversation at the time when Cuba is going through rolling blackouts caused by the United States not allowing Venezuelan oil to reach their shores. Let's take a listen.
White House is making plans for Cuba's collapse. The communist-run country is facing its worst ever energy crisis. Even its water system is taking a major hit. The island's water system is one of the largest energy users. It needs power for pumps, cleaning septic tanks, unclogging pipes, you name it. Well, Cuban officials say the water system is running on less than 40% of the required fuel because of the U.S. blockade of oil shipments. The daughter of former Cuban President Fidel Castro tells our Katie Pavlich the situation is dire.
They don't have electricity, they don't have food, they don't have anything. Children are not going to school. There is nothing to put on the table. Why are you still defending? You see, there are people that are still defending this situation 90 miles away from the richest country in the world.
News Nation national correspondent Brooke Schaefer is following this one for us from Miami, home to more than 1 million Cuban Americans, by the way. Brooke, the water and energy crisis isn't new, but we're told from reports there on the ground, it is in fact getting worse and worse by the day.
Yeah, Marky, it is a worsening situation on the island this morning. Cuban officials saying nearly 3 million people are dealing with a lack of water. Some Cubans say that it's been days since they've received a water delivery. Authorities say it's because of the U.S. oil blockade. Cuba's water system now operating with less than half of the fuel it needs. A lack of water coupled with rolling blackouts and a dwindling oil supply worsening the humanitarian crisis in Cuba as the Trump administration continues its pressure campaign for change on the communist island. Secretary of State Marco Rubio in this week's cabinet meeting again called Cuba a national security threat.
Cuba's in a lot of trouble because, unfortunately for them, it's run by a bunch of incompetent communists. So we'll be talking to them. We'll be working on it. You know, we want something good for the Cuban people, and hopefully there'll be a good outcome there for them. There needs to be. It's 90 miles from our shores, and having a failed state 90 miles from our shores is a threat to the national security of the United States.
President Trump has suggested the U.S. could take Cuba. Politico this morning reporting that the Pentagon has positioned troops for a military attack and just needs the president's go-ahead. But so far, President Trump has not given that order. Instead, his administration for now opting for peaceful change. But Axios reports the Trump administration is bracing for the potential collapse of Cuba's government as early as this summer. Cuban officials have blamed the U.S. oil blockade and sanctions for the current crisis on the island. Cuba's foreign minister told Fox News the U.S. is, quote, manipulating public opinion to justify military intervention. Marky.
Brooke Schaefer, live for us this morning. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below.
Once again, I'm Jacadero, proudly filling in for Brother Koku here on Shoot the Breeze, episode 251 on the Better Medicine Podcast, part of KWAZ Radio. Hit the like button in case you haven't. Today, just like any other Saturday night, we are shooting the breeze with a range of topics. Our topic number 3 asks, Shoot the Breeze. Topic number 3 asks, will the United States be invading Cuba this year? From the video that you guys had watched on, again, the daily blackouts that have been exacerbated, meaning accelerated because of the lack of oil that was once brought to on a regular basis from Venezuela. Venezuela having the largest offshore oil reserves in the world. Well, January 2026, the former president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, was kidnapped by the United States military and is still awaiting trial, if the trial hasn't began yet at the time of this broadcast. In the chat, before we get into our panelists' thoughts, Koku 911 says we should be helping Afro-Cubans, especially neighboring Caribbean countries should be helping. I do know that CARICOM, short for the Caribbean Community, the political bloc of those member states in the Caribbean, the head of CARICOM is the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, and CARICOM itself has not only committed, but also delivered on sending care packages on a monthly basis to Cuba. Now, is this as much as, let's say, a Russian oil tanker delivering over 700,000 barrels of oil? I mean, it's subjective to say, but nonetheless, the Caribbean community is helping out with these troubling times for Cuba. Trigger Happy says, I'll just say this now, this is 100% of the United States preparing to invade the country. We're trying to further destabilize the country more and more. Also, Trigger Happy adds, I should have made it a prompt, but it's connected. Marco Rubio, with his anti-communist position, helped to make a document that Cuba is invading America with left-wing journalists and organizations. Marco Rubio being a confused. All right, let's start off with Brother Bakari. Brother Bakari, what say you? Is this the United States? Shoot the Breeze topic number 3. Will the United States be invading Cuba this year?
I don't know. They've already shut Cuba down, seem like. They might invade them. They might not. But I was listening to some news on YouTube, and from what I heard, they say they are planning to invade Mali this year. Before these years out, they planning to bomb Mali. But Cuba, seems like they already have Cuba. Seems like they had a little small island of Cuba under control. Whatever going on in Cuba, I hope it get fixed. And I hope they don't bomb or invade Cuba. But when you have a lunatic in office who's a bully and haven't been able to destroy Iran the way he lied and go back on his lie, saying they did and saying they didn't, I could see them invading Cuba and bombing Mali because they have to save face for the idiots that still follow them. So I could see it happening because they know Cuba can't really fight back. So he got to save face for his followers that still believe in him. So I'm not saying they're gonna, but what I'm saying is I could see it happening. I hear the mic.
I appreciate it, Brother Bakari. This is a tough situation, not just for Cuba, but for us here in the United States, one of the closest countries to Cuba, not only in proximity, but also culture. We have Afro-Latinos all over the United States. One of the things that continues across my mind is, what's the little things that we can do to make sure that our Black politicians continue to push against this current administration's agenda with possibly invading Cuba, but also just outright destroying their energy grid. Again, up until this year, the energy grid was survived by Venezuela's oil. Real Black Gentleman, what say you? Shoot the Breeze topic number 3. Will the United States be invading Cuba this year from what you've seen, what you've heard?
Unfortunately, probably. Well, they'll make a try. I mean, that's Rubio's little pet project, you know what I'm saying? Like his little homeland that, you know what I'm saying? He's like, I gotta make my homeland right and all that. You know what I'm saying? If Black people try to do that, you know what I'm saying? They would, I'm not going to sit here and alienate communism because what winds up happening is that communism tries to be as self-reliant as possible. If you don't necessarily have all the supply chains and all that, and the resources, it does tend to fall apart. You can't keep it so insular. I mean, an island, though, is different because an island is naturally self-sufficient. So communism does tend to work on islands if you just going to keep it a buck. It's just, you know what I'm saying, you're going to have, everyone on the island is going to have to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, everyone's making sure everyone is, because you can count, you know what I'm saying, is tangible. It's not like if you hoarding, someone's gonna pay attention. You gotta make sure that everyone is spread out, because like you can't be fighting on the island. You gotta make sure everyone's sharing on the island. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, Castro gone, and then, you know what I'm saying, Venezuela, you know what I'm saying, they toppled that. I mean, that was gonna be, you know what I'm saying, Cuba's, you know what I'm saying, backup basically. And so ain't no Castro, ain't, you know what I'm saying, all that is gone. And it's just like, at this point, you see, I see a whole thing going on in this world, man. It's like another like white axis going on. Right? You got, look at this shit. You got South Africa, you got Argentina, right? All this anti-black axis, right? South Africa, Argentina, right? You got the United States, right? You got, you know what I'm saying, general EU, you know what I'm saying, this, you know what I'm saying, in particular France and Ukraine, right? And then you got Israel. And then honestly, I might throw in China in there just because I see China on some real haterade on black people. A lot of people don't like to call it out or see it. Man, they be on some blatant stuff. So like, yo, this is an anti-black axis going on in this world. And like, a lot of this has to do with just a general sense of just like, well, we got to do things the way. I mean, a lot of this whole militarism is like, it's not even led by a whole army. A lot of this is just high techness. You know what I'm saying? They don't need as many men. You know what I'm saying? If you have a couple men with extra strong armor, you know what I'm saying? You do these little raids and all that with the little machines and all that. And so that's what their whole plan is, to send in little machines and, you know what I'm saying, just swarm them out with the drone swarms and all that. And you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, it works because, I mean, unless you can, like, you know, knock the drones out the sky, you know what I'm saying, fry that somehow, you know, EMP or whatnot, you know what I'm saying, just put a swarm over that shit, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. What are you going to do? Like, maybe you can, I don't know, tear up the propellers or some shit. I don't know, throw something there. I don't know. Like, it's rough because, again, they're on an island. They have no out. So it's a siege. It's not just a blockade. It's a siege. You know what I'm saying? Just call it what it is. It's a siege. And that's what you do in sieges. You surround the gates and you starve out the people. You cut off all supplies. You make sure nothing goes in and out. And, you know, that's a siege. They call it a blockade. This is a siege. It's petty. While the United States, you know what I'm saying, the roads ain't going right. Our power grid is falling out. You know what I'm saying? Our water is falling out. You know what I'm saying? The United States is focusing on, once again, destroying everyone else's stuff. And I mean, it's just, I mean, it's just one big slow motion. It's just slow motion. And I think that the whole idea of the slow motion is to make it seem like it's just inevitable. I mean, things can change. I mean, things can change. But once again, it's kind of problematic because it's not a whole bunch of people doing this. Like, the State Department is basically controlling all of this. Is a lot of this is really done through Rubio. Let's just keep it a buck. I mean, that's why he's in there. You know what I'm saying? The people who are with the shits know what Rubio about, and that's why he's the real brains of all of this in this country right now. It's him. I think he on design this tip. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he a crypto Jew. I don't know. Maybe not, you know, he seems to be Latino, but you really, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, the back room or whatnot. I don't know. But it just seems like people got a lot of like veiled identities and interests with all this. They'll bring in people that seem American, but they're troubled and they have obvious flaws. And then there's another group of people who are real tight-laced who are like a part of the inner circle. That's how I see things. And like, bruh, I mean, that's just going to be the way it is until, I mean, otherwise, I mean, it's not that hard. It ain't hard to tell. I mean, as far as like Cuba, it's going to be Cuba. I mean, they say it. They're trying to like try to stun you by like, you know what I'm saying? It's like the eye of Zoran is on you type energy. And it's just like, okay. I mean, tactics can be evaded, but I mean, tech is tech. And if you don't got it, like, all you can try to do is like negotiate to try to get that shit. And sometimes the people you wind up negotiating with, because unless you can get really ingenious and make your own stuff, which is not out of the question. A lot of people will do that quick, fast, in a hurry in times of conflict. I feel bad for Cuba. I don't have nothing wrong with Cuba. I mean, everyone got their biases. People say, you know what I'm saying, anti-blackness in Cuba. I know Cuba, Castro was all. I get it. But I mean, look, Cuba. We talk about apartheid. Cuba helped out motherfucking Namibia and all that, when Angola, when, you know what I'm saying, when it was real. So like, all flaws aside, I ain't mad at Cuba. I'm not mad at Cuba. And I grieve for all this like premonition that's on these people, man. Because I mean, that's just wickedness, man. You want to try to like starve the people out so that they overthrow their government. I'm just gonna be desperate, or they'll use that as a ruse to have some like random like people who are really like agents or operatives to sneak in and I'm just an angry mob. I'm just representing the angry mob. It's all kinds of sickness, man. I hope they can get that, shake that off. That's all I really hope, man.
I appreciate you, Real Black Gentleman, and Brother Bakari. Like I said, this is a terrible situation unfolding. Again, if you have any politicians that you're aware of, try to push them to, have this administration not going through with the possible invasion of Cuba. The reason on why is because the current administration has a hard stance on immigration. For those that are not aware, I'm sure you guys have been discussing it. Temporary protected status has already ended for Haitian immigrants this year, just recently, actually. And so the work permits, that's gone. And now over 300,000 Haitian nationals are subject to deportation. But there were some politicians that were fighting against that because deporting people to a place that the United States themselves has flagged for an unstable social and political climate is not the brightest or the best step to take. In the chat, Trigger Happy says Cuba is mostly black. The demographics are usually not correct on it, but it's estimated to be 62% black. Of course, it has a lot of white leadership, but it's very black. I had a friend that went to Cuba, and he said that just from the airport itself, you'll think that you're in one of these big cities here in the United States. And then this is, again, guys, this is a nation that welcomed Assata Shakur. This is a country that has long fought against American self-interest and said, hey, we're going to side with anybody but the United States. So if they're Bakari, Real Black Gentleman, any last thoughts before we move on to Shoot the Breeze topic number 4 here on episode 251?
Yeah, this is just out of control. I mean, I don't need the militarism. All this, it's a national security threat. When again, you got to sometimes like take these people's words and just like flip it around. Like it's not the nationals, it's not the nation's security, it's the security of their own egos. You understand what I'm saying? That's all it is. Their egos are insecure. So, you know what I'm saying? It's not, the Cuba ain't bothering no one. Seriously, like, I don't see them as a posed threat to the United States anyway. The real posed threat is just like, no, I'm not with the shits, and saying it loud enough and getting other people. See, they try to pick people off one by one. They're a messed up type of, there's a lot of stalking going on, but the whole framework is that they bully and they pick on you one by one, and they try to isolate you from everyone else, make this show of picking on you. That's all that this is. It's just like, nah, you can't be the solo nation. This is why I love the AES, because you can't be that solo nation. Nope, can't do it. That's all.
Yeah. Brother Bakari, any last thoughts? If there's not, we can move on forward. Shoot the Breeze topic number 4.
Move on.
All right. Shoot the Breeze topic number 4 takes us to comments made by an African-American billionaire. He came into the news recently with his statement on the transatlantic slave trade. Now, for those that are not aware, this year the transatlantic slave trade became recognized in the United Nations as the worst crime against humanity. The worst. Again, over 162 countries voted to recognize it as the worst crime against humanity, and 3 nations voted against recognizing. Ask your mama, ask your papa who those 3 countries were. But nonetheless, this is a topic relating to that conversation. Again, Shoot the Breeze topic number 4 asks, was slavery about green and not black and white? We go to one of the most recognize black billionaires in the United States, Mr. Byron Allen and his statements. So hang on tight here. We'll go to a video on, is this on Instagram? On Instagram. Stand by.
Never been about black or white. It's always been about green. We were brought here to make America rich. Anybody can become rich if you enslave millions of people and they work for free for close to 300 plus years. So once we were freed, then that's when the genocide kicked in, because we were no longer assets. We immediately became competition. And they decided, we do not want to share this great American economic pie with you. And then that's when lynching started. That is when the incarceration started. That is when they said, okay, you can't have access to a proper education or economic inclusion, loans that are not predatory. So we won't work. We won't survive unless we become one. It won't work any other way. You need that balance so we can become one. You know, it's this slavery has never been about black or white. It's always been about green. We were brought here to make America rich. Anybody can become rich if you enslave millions of people and they work for free for close to 300 plus years. So once we were freed, then that's when the genocide kicked in, because we were no longer assets. We immediately became competition. And they decided, we do not want to share this great American economic pie with you. And then that's when lynching started. That is when the incarceration started. That is when they said, okay, you can't have access to a proper education or economic inclusion, loans that are not predatory. So we won't work. We won't survive unless we become one. It won't work any other way. You need that balance so we can become one. You know, it's this slavery is never.
Ooh-wee. Hey, all right. I know that that's a pretty heavy discussion that's about to be had indeed. Once again, if you're just tuning in, I am Jacadero, proudly filling in for Brother Koku on this Shoot the Breeze episode 251 on the Better Medicine Podcast. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Shoot the Breeze topic number 4 asks the question, was slavery about green, meaning the dollar bill, y'all, and not black or white? Again, it's from a video that an interview Black American, African American billionaire Byron Allen out of Detroit, Michigan, stating that slavery, or the transatlantic slave trade in this case, was more about economics rather than race. Real Black Gentleman in the chat says, oh, hell nah. Coco 911 says, Byron a little funny style, to be honest, but he's pushing unity. Well, shit. I mean, if you got your own comments, if you're free, Coco 911, you can go ahead and click on the StreamYard link, and so that way we can hear your thoughts. Same with each and every one of you that are watching and listening. Real Black Gentleman adds, okay, slavery wasn't about black and white, but the genocide was. Okay, gotcha. Trigger Happy says, very interesting and strong points. A lot of American politics is definitely about the impending idea of black revolution and rebellion. Trigger Happy also adds, in that sense, locking out black people becomes important, and you still have to point out that it becomes black versus white if it's a competition, though. And then Lisa Nicole Jackson, what's going on? Welcome. Says, we Americans are one. We don't care what he says. He is in our bloodline. He is null and void. If you want to get on the panel, go ahead, Liza Nicole Jackson, or is it Lisa Nicole Jackson? You let me know how to pronounce it. I want to get your name correct. Let's go to our panelist, Brother Bakari. What say you, man? Does Byron Allen, famous
that's a black man with a white wife. But you know what? It was about white enslaving blacks for green. But he don't want to say that. He gotta He has a white wife. It's about what he says. So then he said after slavery, they had to do what they had to do because it was about competition. So if it wasn't about black and white, why don't you find white people that was enslaved? And before somebody say the Irish, they were not enslaved. Indentured servants who volunteered to come here as indentured servants, and when they had children, their children was not automatic indentured servants. So it's not the same. So when someone like that is talking, who is a billionaire, get his money, and he go marry a white woman, of course he can't see it's about race. Because if it was about race, he wouldn't have his white queen. Yeah, so back to what I said in the beginning, and I'm gonna finish. It was about white enslaving blacks for green. That's what it was about. So he's lying, and he's a coward to sit there and say that. I yield the mic.
I appreciate it, Brother Bakari. I guess I never researched on his marital affairs, to who he's married to, and Brother Bakari seems to think that has an influence on how he's presenting this, and maybe any other takes that he's had. I know that he's not a shy billionaire. I know that sometimes we get the impression that billionaires like to shy away from the media, but he's not one of them. In the chat, Trigapi says, yes, Bakari summarized it better. It was black being enslaved by white to make green for whites. So it was racial, huh? By the way that was put. And then Koku911 says, Liza, what bloodline is he? Yeah, my research is that, he's from Detroit, Michigan. So, Liza, maybe you could, Liza or Liza, you could let us know on what bloodline that he comes from. And then again, if that has any part to play in his sentiments. Koku also says white queen in reference to Brother Bakari talking about Byron Allen's wife. Real Black Gentleman, what say you? Is Byron Allen, is he correct? Was slavery about green and not about black and white?
Well, I mean, before the money was green, there was all kinds of other colors. I mean, just saying that money equals green, it's like this kind of like sidetracks the point. Of course, it was black and white. You know what I'm saying? White people had them boats. We're not going to talk. What? I mean, I would love to see the black person who had the boat dragging black people back. Because I get it. You know what I'm saying? The story here about it happened. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, you know what I'm saying? The mulatto, maybe some demented, you know what I'm saying, dark skin, you know what I'm saying, motherfucker had his or whatnot, but them is like, a handful compared to the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, you know what I'm saying, down every mile, down the next mile, down the next mile, down the next mile, white folks with white people on the planet. So like, yeah, he's crazy. He's talking, you know what I'm saying, he's trying to appease to some audience that whenever they hear him mention this, no, it's always about money. And I mean, it's just like all that he calls it genocide. I mean, the fact that, he's going to call just keep in mind that the whole Confederacy, right? The premise of that was I'll say it, America is the white nation, but the Confederacy is the white supremacist, the proper white supremacist nation. It was like basically in this constitution that white people are on top. I mean, they wanted that to be in stone, right? And so like, of course, I mean, and they wanted slavery too. I mean, of course they wanted slavery. They wanted the free labor because naturally, I mean, that's how they had the economics. They didn't have the factories down south, and that's why they come manufacture a cannon or a gun. So like, yeah, it's like it's been like that. It's been like that. I mean, it's not even about North and South because that's why the Confederacy had its capital in Richmond, right next to D.C., because their whole plan was to basically subsume the North. If you're going to position your capital as a front, basically 90 miles away from your opponent, you're not looking at that D.C. as like the boundary. You're looking to overrun that. Of course, they had operatives all up through the North. You know what I'm saying? I get the Civil War. I understand what's going on. So like, yeah, it's just like, of course, it's just like yeah, he's talking, he's trying to appease to an audience, and there's nothing more to say about it. I mean, black people know what the deal is. Of course, he's talking nonsense. I mean, it's not. And the funny thing is, you know, the people who were really killed weren't just random black people so much. They were going after the business class. They were going after the black business class. You know what I'm saying? The people making money like him. He says genocide, and I think it's, of course, you know, black people were killed, or black genetics were systematically killed, but they were, in the way that they're doing it, they're trying to kill the genes of the people making money. So, yeah, I mean, that's all. I ain't got too much to say. That's all.
I appreciate it, Real Black Gentleman. In the comments, Liza or Lisa, I'll just call you Miss Nicole Jackson. How about that? Miss Nicole Jackson says, I don't know what he is, in reference to he's not of mine. I know that what he's not. He is not my people. The builders, maintainers, fighters whose generational families are in this soil. Hey, remember, Miss Nicole Jackson, you can also join us here on the StreamYard. Click that StreamYard link. Trigger Happy adds, America would have never been such a powerful nation and jumped through all the hoops to go through to be a wealthy nation without mastering enslavement. Real Black Gentleman says, Miss Nicole Jackson is a troll or a bot. I don't know. I mean, I invite her to the show, but Byron Allen's statements about, you know, that slavery wasn't about black or white, it was about the green. If you guys ever feel compelled, I know that this might not resonate well with some of you guys, but I think it was the Library of Congress, if I can believe. I'll try to put it in the chat if I find it. But on YouTube, they're awarding or recognizing the Prince Hall Masons of the DMV area. That's DC, Maryland, Virginia, here in the United States. And why they're recognizing them was for a multitude of things. But one of the significant things in that YouTube video, when they're recognizing them in Washington, D.C., is that they recognize them because during the ahead of the Emancipation Proclamation, the document that freed enslaved Africans in the United States, Abraham Lincoln brought Prince Hall Masons into his office to ask, where should we send formerly enslaved and the free black peoples? For those that don't know, there were free black peoples that were operating, living, working, and breathing in the United States at the same time that there was the transatlantic slave trade, because there was already black people operating, making money, etc., amongst themselves. And so Abraham Lincoln brought Prince Hall Masons to ask them, where should we send black peoples, both enslaved and when the emancipation goes into effect, and also free black peoples. And why is that? The Prince Hall Masons descendants actually state that during the time of Abraham Lincoln, his administration was catching word and the sentiment that more slave rebellions were happening, not only because of slave rebellions happening in the Caribbean, places like the Dominican Republic, Colombia, and Haiti, but also enslaved Africans on United States plantations were watching free black people move about themselves and being able to drive wherever I don't know about drive. I think there was horse carriages, but being able to move freely and do whatever they wanted to. So thus was also a factor into slave rebellions. Again, other enslaved black peoples watching other black peoples out. And so Abraham Lincoln said, hey, we have an issue with that. Again, you guys can take a look at that video. I'll try my best to find that video, but it's not from too long ago. I think it's from the 2010s. Where they're getting recognized. But nonetheless, why I bring that up is because if Byron Allen, if I was to speak to him, I'd ask him, if it wasn't about race, if the transatlantic slave trade wasn't about race, then why did the Lincoln administration have such an issue with, hey, not only do enslaved peoples need to leave this country after the emancipation, again, thus sending them to Liberia, but also free black peoples as well. Again, that's an open question for you guys here in the panel as well, Brother Bakari, Real Black Gentleman. Again, if you guys are familiar with that, or even if you guys aren't, I guess maybe I just want to pick your guys' brains on, first, were you guys aware that the Lincoln administration wanted to send even free black peoples out of the country?
Yeah, I know about that. I mean, there was all kinds of arrangements trying to get people out of the country. Grant was trying to buy basically the Dominican Republic at one point, and just as a like a reserve, you know what I'm saying, just in case type, you know what I'm saying, like there's been all kinds of, but it's just it becomes, their wants don't fit their budgets because they want black people just to like go, but they never have the money for these boats. They never have the money for the infrastructures to actually get people out. They just, a lot of it winds up, it was just into this point now is wishful thinking. You cannot wish black people away. I think that the whole transatlantic, when people talk about like what happened to the boats, like I just think that like what am I trying to say?
Does that have any bearing?
What am I trying to say? Once we're here, all the infrastructure is gone. So it's not like you can like have those slave boats because it's like they don't even have the infrastructure. Even if they wanted to, they can't. So it's like they're constantly trying to get, pick us apart, try to gold us out. You guys should go, go back to Africa, like go, like you brought us here, you take us back. And naturally, I wouldn't even trust them to take us back, right? And so like, well, we can take ourselves back, right? But you're not trying to, there is no that. There's nothing. And part of it's just I think it's just a long-standing just way of just trying to make us uncomfortable where we are. Especially, just a natural greater global policy of it don't matter where you are as a black person, I'm going to make you feel uncomfortable. They have a PSYOP with the United States. They have a PSYOP with AFRICOM off in Fort Bragg, and they call it the Drongo Operation. It's like the Operation Drongo, and supposedly they're gonna sit here and tell it and say a Drongo bird is a bird that like makes fake calls to like lure other animals or mimic other animals to try to like, I don't know, just like some goofy shit. So that's basically the troll epic. They've always had these trolls, but now they're formalizing it. It's just it's a real life Operation Mockingbird. It's just. That's why I say we're all these bots and trolls. That's why I really think it is. People can sit here and say, a lot of anecdotes, but like, I think that as far as, like I say, like they want us to go, but they brought us here. They don't want to give us the keys to the whip. They don't even want to give us the beater whip, the beater boat. You know what I'm saying? And say, look, it is seaworthy. You can look at it. It is seaworthy. Yo, do what you do. If you don't go back, go back. It's nothing like that. Because these white folks with that boat is like, no, I'm still trying to pay off that's my asset. That's going to appreciate value. You know how it is. I'm rambling at this point, but I said what I had to say.
Appreciate it, real back, gentlemen. Brother Bakari, what about you?
So say again what you said. Say again what you said about Lincoln.
So if Byron Allen's argument that transatlantic slave trade wasn't about race, it wasn't about black and white, it was about money, why was it that the Lincoln administration not only wanted to send enslaved peoples after the emancipation to places like Panama, Liberia, but they also wanted to send free black peoples away because of how much influence that they had on slave rebellions and plantations here in the United States?
Okay, what Lincoln said about black people, he said with everything white people have done to black people, the enslaving and everything that they did, just looking at a black person, just a white person having to look at a black person is worse than anything a white person have ever done to them. That's how Abraham Lincoln felt. Some people went back, I don't know what you mean, because he keeps saying if it wasn't about slavery, means if it wasn't about race. Everybody knew it was about race unless you got a white woman, a black man with a white woman, or if you find you a black woman, you're a white man. It cannot be about race to them. It can't be about race to them because they have married into the race that did it. So expecting them to feel how we feel. That's not going to happen. It's almost impossible for them to feel the way that we feel. But Abraham Lincoln, but how Abraham Lincoln felt about black people, he let it be known. What did he say? If he could keep slavery and bring the country together, he would be okay with that. But he couldn't, because the North wanted. Then the reason they couldn't keep slavery is because the North wanted too much of the South money, and they had told these slave owners they couldn't go out. They couldn't take slavery too far out west. So they couldn't keep slavery unless people agreed to pay. So it was most definitely about race. If it's not about race, just tell him to show you the other race that was enslaved. They tried the Native Americans. They are the people who's indigenous to here, and they knew the land, so they could run away. But they couldn't do so. When they found black people, they found people from Senegal to come here strictly to cultivate rice, because that's what they were doing there. It was most definitely about race. But we allow people, and I say this all the time, we listen to people, even this conversation and bringing him up, it's about us race. It's about us. It's about race because he's black. So we'll let him speak in our space. And it's okay. But we do know he married to a white woman. So
Brother Bakari, real black gentleman, the question is asked, a part of this as well. Byron Allen, in that same interview that you guys can see in this background, he talks about unifying. He says that it wasn't about black and white. Thus, over the years, it was about competition, about the green. That's why we need to stick together. Well, what do you say about that? Do you feel that Byron Allen, should we be taking his words about unifying seriously?
Unifying with who? See, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be honest with you. This is me. And this is how I feel. I'm sick of hearing black people use the word unity. Man, we've been saying unity. We've been saying unity for 100 damn years. It sounds good. Man, what we need to organize. We need strategy. And we can't, see, when you say unify, you trying to bring everybody in with you. Everybody ain't going to come in with you. So if you think about it, the black people that want to do, and it's sad that it's like this, that we're broken down in tribes here. The black people that want to unify under Pan-Africanism need to organize, because we together already. We need to organize and use strategy. Them people that say they FBA, they ain't going to be over here with us, and I don't worry myself with them. The people that say they're ADOS and indigenous to this land and all that, I don't work because they're not going to be here with us. Trying to bring people aboard that don't want to be aboard with you is what keep us stagnant and the reason we haven't moved forward. So we have unified. And that's what people don't understand. We have unified. We just haven't organized. And if those other groups want to work with us, then, see, those groups can be an ally, because they ain't going to be unified under the same banner. We unify. We raised the red, black, and green. They raised red, white, and blue, even though red, white, blue, and black never went together. white, blue, and black skin never went together. But that's their flag. So we can try and be allies. The people who have found this infatuation of keeping a lie going that they're indigenous to this land, we are not going to unify with them, but we can ally with them. You understand what I'm saying? The people, do you ever hear the Nation of Islam talking about they're going to unify with every other black people? They're going to unify with themselves. You can ally with other people. So that word unity, I'm tired of it. We are unified. And now I'm speaking strictly to the panel and the people that come in this chat and the people that claim they're Pan-African. The hell, it's time we have unified through this shit. We get together and talk. We haven't agreed on a meetup. We haven't agreed on a time. We haven't agreed on nothing. So we haven't organized. We just damn talk. That's what we do. We talk every Saturday, and it's good to talk. But in order to organize, you're going to have to meet. In order to strategize, I told y'all she was FBA. You know she said she was a bot. I told you she FBA or ADOS. So we can ally with those type of people. But we can't unify with those type of people. Red, white, blue, and black don't go together. United States flag, red, white, and blue. The Confederate flag, red, white, and blue. You keep on going, everything be red, white, and blue. And when you saw that red, white, and blue, they have done a whole lot to black. So the word unify is, as far as I'm concerned, forget about it. The Christians and the Muslims ain't gonna unify, but they can ally. Most of the Christians ain't trying to, but and that's what we gonna have to learn to do. We can ally. But we ain't gonna go nowhere trying to bring everybody on board. We should have been meet and greet. We should have been one and did something. We should have an organization now really doing something, really making moves. That's what we should be doing. I know it's called Shoot the Breeze. See, that let me know that you only heard a little bit of what I said, RBG. Don't worry about it. And so the word unify don't mean nothing anymore. So it don't mean nothing. He got a white wife, so he finna have you trying to unify with the whole world. Everybody come together.
Hey, all right. Brother Bakari, I appreciate you. Hey, I appreciate you, real black gentleman. Any response, any final thoughts here?
No, I'm with the Bakari. I mean, it's everything he says. I agree with, man. I mean, everything he says is truly on point. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's difficult. Honestly, like there's a saying, you never get all the people. I mean, you can sit here and say it's 50 million people, but you know what I'm saying? A quarter of them's babies and young, a quarter of them's old. You know what I'm saying? You only get, you know what I'm saying, the meat 50% out of those. I mean, out of that half. You know what I'm saying? How many people on the same type of time? You start to get fractions and fractions and fractions. Honestly, I mean, as long if once everyone has their eyes on you, you can then, you know, change. You know, you can then start influencing more and more people, and then you can then have these people in various sectors. I mean, part of what it is being able to draw the attention and keep the attention. And I mean, we got black people who, and again, NFAC, through time and time again, we get people, and it's like, it's there and it's there, it's almost there. And it's like, oh man. And it's like, you never need everyone. If the NFAC were to been able to continue doing what they would have been a force in this world. I mean, that we talk about right now, that's going on with craziness, because they would see a strong black armed militant presence, professional out here, which I'm not going to sit here and say that's a bad thing. It's great to see. It's great to see the black man and black woman unified and organized in formation. That's great. And I get it how they, you know what I'm saying, to put the trick bag on them, saying, oh, he had his gun on. I mean, yeah, this professionalism about it, it's true. But it's just like, I think it's a case of like, 3 steps forward, a varying number of degrees back. And sometimes it's like, it's a various number. I think in the net we're ahead, you know what I'm saying? But I think that, with a lot of this stuff, it always seems mixed. I think that what it is that different, I would say almost like you said, we do have to organize, but we have to have a sense of interlocking within whatever it is that we're organizing with. If you're going to have, how would I say, if we're going to be one unit, like, it's very important that we understand like how we relate to the other groups. You know what I'm saying? We definitely have to, like, these allies that Black people, if the Pan Africans are going to have allies, like, part of it has to do with, I think it just having, like, Kari's right. Like I say, I'm trying to like add on to it, but I really can't. Like, you do actually have to have that core people, and it doesn't have to be everyone. So I'm just going to end on that.
I appreciate it, real black gentlemen.
Can I say something right quick?
Please.
Something that RBG touched on. And this is something I've said to Koku, and I had a friend of mine get mad at me the other day. And I don't normally say people's name because I don't respect them, but I'm going to say their name. You got people come around that follow Tariq Nasheed. You got people that come around that follow that dude Moorish World. You got people that come around that follow them Jason Blacks and Professor Black Troops and motherfuckers like that. Pardon my French, but I'm gonna have to go ahead and say it. You wonder what happened to the NFAC? The motherfuckers y'all follow like that sit here and grew their panel shitting on that damn black militia. Now black people would turn around and follow those damn people. I said, I wish I could have got 5,000 together. People have seen my work. I've trained women to use weapons. Still do. Black women. Let me be specific. Black women. Still trained. People have seen my work. But when you find these people, them FBAs and these ADOs and these so-called indigenous will sit there and talk about he gonna get somebody killed. When there was the people, when everybody saw that Ahmaud Arbery tape, when it came out, none of them wanted to talk. I'm the only one on social media that talked about it. They went and stood in front of them people's house for a week and told the police, you got 5 days to go get them or we going to get them. That's the only reason they got arrested. But them people y'all follow and say, now we should unify with them. No, I would not. I'm just being honest. I would not attempt. Naps, me and Naps cool. He said he didn't know why I don't like Moorish World. I'm telling you now, he built his channel shitting on that militia. I was out there with him. I had some young men go join. You know why them young men stopped? You know why the NFAC broke up? I talked to them young man. We got tired of just listening to black people always talking down on us while they ain't doing nothing. So them young men went to do their own thing. And I don't blame them. So when people say, well, will they come now? No. Why? Black people, don't nobody have to come and talk about, I'm going to do something for you, when you never, ever, ever say anything positive about them. Was the NFAC perfect? Nope. It damn sure wouldn't. Is there some things I could have said? Yep. It wasn't perfect, but it was what we needed. And if we was truly concerned about unifying in revolution, instead of sitting on here crapping on them, it would have been more people trying to get involved to see if certain things that we could fix. But instead, we allow people to build their channel. We allow people to sit and talk about these people who was putting their life on the line. People don't even know what they'll call the Proud Boys or whoever. One of them used to be on social media. They were down there in Louisville, Kentucky, talking shit. This was on social media too. Then they went to the police bragging. They went to the police begging. It's so many NFAC. If we stand right here, they're gonna just wipe us out. People don't talk about that part because when you black and you want your social media channel to grow, you have to talk negative about black people all the time. I don't even mention these people But I said their name tonight because of the bullshit that they did when RBG mentioned the NFAC. Yes, we should have had a militia. We should have a militia right now of 150,000 strong. We should have had enough militia now where people can go stand in front of them folks that did that to Nolan Wells and say, y'all got 5 days. Or them people who, that black guy that was lynched in Michigan, go stand in front of their house and say, y'all got 5 days. Or Cleveland, Ohio, or Woodstock, Georgia, or Birmingham, Alabama, or Miami, Florida, or St. Petersburg, Florida. But what we do, we sit our ass and talk and we follow some fucking pussies and act like they're doing something. Pardon my friend. I don't like them motherfuckers, and I mean that. Because that's what they did. They embarrassed black men, and now we got a lot of weak ass, because black men, we got a problem. We got a lot of weak black men that follow them. And they get mad when I say something about it. And I'm going to continue to talk about it. And the same shit I say now is the same shit I stand on the corner and say. It's the same shit I stand in the damn city council meetings and say. The same thing I talk about. That's why the police followed me. When I sit there and talk about you do something else to another black person here, we shoot first. They didn't know how many people was me. About 30 people to the meet with me, because that's how I get down for real. And I don't like punks who think it's okay to sit there and watch black people dying. Well, you know, that's Mississippi. That's Mississippi. That's Mississippi. They just killed a black kid in damn Austin, Texas 3 days ago. He had a gun. He raised up his shirt so they can see it's a water bottle, and they killed my mom. Eric Garner was not Mississippi or down south. That was in New York City. But all over this country, we gonna find one place to try. No, Mississippi is America. And they gonna keep doing the shit they do to us in all 50 states until black men pull their pants up, let their nuts hang, and let these motherfuckers know we ready. I'll yield the mic.
Whew. Real black gentlemen, I gotta ask, you have any any last words before we get into our fifth and final topic of the night?
No.
All right.
By the way, let me say this. I wouldn't try to come at RBG if it sounded like that, RBG. I wouldn't.
No. It's no worries, man. I'm with it. I'm with it.
All right. Please, unless you guys are, I'm talking to you at home that's watching, listening, maybe you at work, maybe you're in the gym, maybe you're not effing around, huh? You get me? Towards the end, when we give our shout outs, if you are in the Omaha, Nebraska area, please stay tuned. There may or may not be a certain group that I can give you guys information about that operates here out of Omaha, Nebraska, and that you can be a part of, huh? All right, with that being said, let's get into our fifth and last. Again, I told you guys we're going to try to burn the midnight oil. So why not? Why not, huh? Like Brother Bakari says, where are black men got to pull up their pants? We're going to do that. So let's go ahead and get into our fifth and final topic of Shoot the Breeze tonight here. And yes, this is going to involve a lot of us black men pulling up our pants, like Brother Bakari says, huh? It asks, is this the self-sufficiency blueprint, huh? This one is on the lighter note, not as heavy as the awesome speech that Brother Bakari gave, but nonetheless, man, it's gonna ask you as a man, are you gonna roll up your sleeves, huh? Whether that's here in the United States or somewhere else, huh? It brings us to Instagram, where we have a sister that has built her own off-grid community that is self-sustaining, huh? So let's go ahead and get to Instagram, and we'll talk right afterwards, huh? Stand by.
I realized something. I never needed 6 acres to feed my family. Half an acre would have done it. Here's the blueprint. I'd plant fruit trees on day one. Using 1/8 of an acre, I would plant 12 to 20 dwarf fruit trees. Instead of one giant apple tree, I can grow apples, peaches, pears, plums, figs, persimmons, and cherries in the same footprint. More diversity means more food, longer harvest seasons, and if one crop fails, I still have 6 others. Next, I'd create a seed library. I'd save every tomato, pepper, bean, squash, sunflower, and herb seed I could find. In 18 months, I saved over 1 million seeds, and those seeds were able to supply an entire county with a seed library. I donated that seed library years ago, and it still operates out of the Lovejoy Library. If you save your seeds in a few years, you rarely have to buy seeds again. Next, I built a greenhouse, not just for seedlings, but for year-round lettuce, spinach, herbs, and to grow fodder for my chickens and other animals. Fresh greens in the winter are a game changer. My fodder system process takes less than 6 days to grow food for animals. I would have my chicken coop and my greenhouse built on the same 1/8 of an acre. I choose a small closet in the house to run my fodder system out of. That way, you're saving more space in the greenhouse. Next, I'd compost everything: banana peels, coffee grounds, eggshells, cardboard, leaves. Every scrap becomes next year's garden. I'd also install rain barrels to go right off of the greenhouse and right off the chicken coop and right off the gutters of my home. Why pay to water food if the sky's going to do it for free? I would also check my local regulations to see if they allow it. Next, I'd keep bees. One healthy hive can produce a surprising amount of honey in a good season, plus pollination for your fruit trees and garden. Y'all know honey stores indefinitely, and bees make everything else on your property more productive. Next, when gardening, I dedicate a section to calorie crops, which are potatoes, sweet potatoes, dry beans, winter squash. These actually keep you full. And remember, for potatoes, you don't need ground space. They can grow on buckets, child. They grow on laundry baskets, pretty much anything. I'd grow a kitchen garden right at my back door, the food you grab every day. So your garlic, your onions, your herbs, your lettuce, your tomatoes, your peppers. If it's convenient, you'll actually use it. And a bunch of my herbs I'd grow actually right at the bottom of my fruit trees, because fruit trees provide natural shade. Self-sustainability ain't just about growing food. It's about the way you harvest it, the way you store it, the way you keep it. I learned to preserve food before I needed to. Freeze it, can it, dehydrate it. A harvest only feeds you long-term if you know how to keep it. I'd plant living fences, blackberries, raspberries, muscadine grapes, food, privacy, wildlife habitat, and natural boundaries all in one. My absolute favorites to do this with are actually blackberries, beautyberries, muscadines, and mulberries. With all those berries, you're going to have an abundance, so freezing them is actually imperative, and also canning for jellies, jams, and of course, wine. I'd also plant nitrogen-fixing plants, so clover and beans. They help improve the soil while producing food and forage. I'd also grow flowers on purpose, not just because they're pretty, but because pollinators are the farm workers, and you don't got to pay them. I teach every person in my house one skill. One kid knows how to compost, one knows bees, one knows fruit trees, one knows how to cook, one knows foraging, because self-sufficiency isn't about one person knowing everything. Teamwork make the dream work, baby. Last but certainly not least, I leave part of my land wild. Nature is already growing food and medicine. You just got to learn how to recognize it. You can do this by teaching yourself to learn one wild edible forageable a month. So by the end of the year, you'll know 12 plants that you can eat. Self-sufficiency isn't about having a ton of land. It's about making every square inch count. Off a half acre, I could easily feed my family of 6. For more Black girl farming adventures, follow me for more. After 5 years.
I don't know if I should have watched that, because now I'm extremely hungry, and I actually committed for the next 6 months to not eat after 7 p.m. So I'm really pissed at myself that I just watched that, and I'm extremely hungry. But nonetheless, we move on, huh? Koku in the chat says, I think Brother Bakari will like this. Yeah, after that speech, I mean, I hope so. Real Black Gentleman says, excellence. Trigger Happy says, amazing. Again, if you want to get in touch with her, you want to donate, or maybe just get in contact with that sister, that's up and does states. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. It's right there in the background, so please feel free to go ahead and reach out to her via Instagram. We'll start off with Brother Bakari. Brother Bakari, man. Is this the self-sustaining blueprint?
Yes, I like what she's doing. I know I had told y'all about the land, but some stuff came up. Well, I'm gonna be honest. They had too many restrictions, so me and my lady decided not to get it. Me and my family, we decided not to. So we're looking at other land. But yes, that is the blueprint. Your seeds, she growing her own food. You can have your own chickens. I'm gonna get me some goats and some sheep and make me some geeps. You know what a geep is, don't you? I'm gonna breed my sheep and my goats. We're gonna have our own chickens. We got our own. We're gonna grow our own vegetables. You get the organic seeds. There's certain places you have to order them from. You can get the organic seeds, and then once your food grow, you can use those seeds from the food that's grown that continue. But that is the blueprint. That's what she's doing. Yeah, a geep, man, a goat and a sheep. I'm gonna breed them. I'm gonna make me a goat and a sheep. But what she's doing, that is great. It's more healthy for you. Then you off this system. You ain't in the store complaining about how much they charging you for a bunch of collard greens, and you have grown, and you can grow your own damn collard greens, grow your own spinach. Now, that little girl out there doing that beekeeping, that is great to be teaching her that as a young age. I remember growing up, when I talk about Freedom Village, they had we had a big hog farm, we had a rabbit farm, we had a honeybee farm. This little town, it was called Freedom Village. It had a corner store, had its own grocery store, and black folks used to come and shop out there. The little town made some money. That's what it dealt with. I know Anthony had heard of it. He's from Louisiana. So I know he know what the Delta Blues Festival is in Mississippi. But yeah, my people started that. It was so big, but one thing, like my pops didn't let us get out too much and mess with the bees, because if you don't have that white suit on that she had on, those bees will attack you. They will attack you if you don't have that white suit on. But that's a skill that we need to learn, is beekeeping, organic honey. Honey can be used. I got to find my other videos to get the more ingredients, but like organic honey is used, in this country, they would be called herbalists. But I was watching, it was Asia, it was in India, and in Africa, they use organic honey with certain herbs to help people with dementia, right? So it like help them remember certain things. And they shows a couple of actors here. So I'm just saying, when she say that medicine is right there, what we have, and she is telling the truth, that that's the medicine that we need for eating right and eating healthy, and you can grow your own herbs, your own medicine. And like, look at those. I know y'all have seen those commercials about the African soursop bitters. Have y'all ever seen those internet commercials, social media commercials about
I follow somebody that promotes the soursop and the
Well, I'm gonna tell you, everything that soursop bitters say it do on that commercial, it does it for real. They have a certain soursop that is made for prostate and cancer. And I can tell you what I know. And if my oldest son mother was here, her and her husband now, if they were sitting next to me, they wouldn't mind me saying this. Straight from the ground. Everything was just herbs from the ground from Africa. What they were doing wasn't working. He started drinking soursop tea, them bitters. And he said within 3 months, 2-3 months, he went back to the doctor and cancer wasn't found no more. See, he was so bad, he was wearing a pamper. Young man, early to mid 50s. So, but he ain't got to do that no more because that took it out of him. And what I'm saying all that to say, when this woman said our medicine and everything is right here in the ground, she ain't lying. It is in the ground. And they know it. That's why these people that paid to shut down all the herbal, because that's what the original medical schools here, to shut them down and create what they call modern medicine now. I don't know if I sent it to you, Koku. If I didn't, or if I sent it to nobody here, I would send it to you. You do know they're about to open a university here for herbal medication. So I'm just saying all that to say that she is right. And on that, I yield the mic.
Yeah, man. As good as it is for you guys, I'm so hungry right now. I'm so hungry. Anyways, Real Black Gentleman, from what you've seen, what you've heard, man, what say you? Is this the blueprint for self-sufficiency?
Basically, yeah. I mean, it seems like they have everything that they need. Everything is. She has a very, very tight understanding of spatialness of the crops, understanding the levels, lower levels, mid levels, how they the synchronicities above all She's on top of it. She, like she said, she thought she needed 6 acres. She only needs half of one because she knows how to. She's very, very clearly very, and is maximizing all of her time to do this. I mean, got the whole family. Everyone has a job. Everyone has a role. There's more than enough work to go around, and the benefits are obvious. Why wouldn't you want to keep this beautiful garden tended at its highest potential and make money off of it? Of course, like that's the thing. It's like it's not just I mean, it's truly self-sufficient because she's making money off of this. I mean, I mean, obviously there's barriers, but I mean, I'm sure she knows about soil. I'm sure she probably can work all kinds of magic with soil. She'll like, she done did the pH on, like, you might need to plant this for a couple of years, and then after you do that, you might be able to plant some of this, and then after a couple more years, you should be able to go on to a regular rotation. She'll probably be able to tell you something like that. This is very much amazing, right? I mean, this is incredibly impressive. Like, this needs to be like just the whole, because you can do this anywhere. I mean, if you have any kind of house, any kind of land, even if you don't, if you just rent, you know what I'm saying, long term, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I mean, it's just beautiful. And I mean, I'm sure she has the right fertilizers, all of it probably tastes, look at those cherries, the bananas, just like all this, you know what I'm saying? On the job, you know what I'm saying? Plant that soil, you know what I'm saying? Plant that tree, man. That's money. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to get me some money. And so, like, so I mean, it's just just with the children out there doing it. I mean, yes. I mean, I'll have more of this. Yes, I'm done.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. So I'm trying to get from, I can tell you guys my weight, but for obvious purposes, I'm not going to tell you guys. But I went and dropped just last week alone from this time 7 days ago. I dropped 5 pounds by not eating after 7 p.m. And now I've extended it since Wednesday to 4 p.m. So now anything after 4 p.m. I don't eat. Just know that I'm hungry. And I'm sitting in the kitchen right now looking at the top of my fridge. And I'm like, man, some of those things that she has in the video I have. And I'm like, I could just take a bite, but I have a weight goal. In the chat, we got a lot going on here. We have a lot here. We'll address these things. Any last remarks, Brother Bakari, Real Black Gentleman, on the self-sustaining blueprint from this sister that we have here? And again, you guys can go ahead. If you're curious, you want to donate anything, whether that's money or any seeds, or maybe even a goat, or maybe even a geep, like Brother Bakari is about to breed, her Instagram is right there. Last remarks, Brother Bakari, Real Black Gentleman.
I would just say, just the point that she's making, it's all about the storage. It truly is. It is one thing to be able to grow it, but that's like half the battle. You do have to have the apparatuses, the supplies of canning, dehydrating, like she says, long-term storage. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole point. You grow enough food. It's not like, it's one thing to try to, like, the idea, like, just in the nature of where you are, if you have winter, you know what I'm saying, slow months, you got to be able to store for the winter. I mean, even if you aren't storing for the winter or cold, there's always going to be a dry season or extra rainy season or whatever conditions that make growing and just everyday sustaining and just makes it harder just because the conditions aren't good. So it's always good to be able to store food. I think that's the most overlooked part of gardening. It's not even so much that you can grow the food, because I mean, chances are you can condition the plants, you can get the tolerances, you can be within tolerances for plants and all that and growth, or your animals or whatnot. But you know what I'm saying, after you have the cows and chickens, you want to, you know what I'm saying, you got to go to the butcher. I mean, you got to, the freeze it, you got to be able to have, you know what I'm saying, you got to be able to store it, you know what I'm saying, dehydrate the meat, you know what I'm saying, you got to be able to dehydrate the vegetables. So some vegetables go bad if you can't dehydrate it, you might have to can it. Then you have to have a whole bunch of jars, a whole bunch of lids. Got to have all that. And honestly, once you do that, you can sell it. I mean, once you can store it, you can sell it. You can trade it. That's the real self-sufficiency. Because I mean, hell, like you said, I mean, one plant can have, you know what I'm saying, 1,000 odd seeds or whatnot. So it's like you plant 30 plants and get, times, 200, that's basic math. That's just basic, basic agricultural math. I mean, the land will replenish itself just by the seeds, just by the plant seeds alone. And she has the wherewithal to grow food for the animals. I mean, man, the rain buckets, all of it. I mean, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
Mr. Geep, I'm going to call you Mr. Geep, huh? Brother Bakari, any last remarks here?
No, there's I guess as what she's doing is beautiful. He said they call it a show, not a geep. Yeah, I just said geep. I know what. You know what? So one of them, the male gonna have to be a geep, the female's gonna be a show. Either way. But yeah, but no, what she doing is that's a great thing that she doing. And when I see them kids out there, then I saw that little girl look like she about that little girl. I don't know. I think it may have been a little bigger than her that was out there with that suit on doing that beekeeping. That was great. She's teaching them at a young age. That is great. I hear the mic.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Bakari, Real Black Gentleman, and all you guys that are tuned in, whether or not you participated in the chat. This was awesome. I told you guys that we had a range of topics today, and we delivered. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's get into our shout-outs. Let's get into our shout-outs, man. Let's go ahead and highlight individuals, places, or things. Maybe it's even events. Maybe it's something that's a part of you. You want to go ahead and you want to highlight that? This is your chance. Brother Bakari, let's start off with you, man. What you want to give a shout out? It doesn't have to be just one thing. It can be multiple things. Let's go.
I'm gonna shout out to you, Jack Adura. You did a great job hosting. To the panel and Koku for the opportunity for you to host, to show everybody how it goes. Shout out to all the real Pan-Africans. Shout out to all the real Black people who want to ally. So if the things that we say we need to be doing as a people, we need to start doing it. It's time for us to learn to ally together. While we are searching for allies, since we have obviously tribed up, and for the FBAs and ADOs and indigenous and whoever else that don't hate Africa or Pan-Africans, it's time for us to try and ally so we can do something together. And shout out to the Pan-Africans who's thinking from this chat and this panel, who's thinking right now about, damn, what's a good time for us to do a real meet and greet, so we can start organizing, so we can start putting things in place, so we can have more than Koku studying for his ham license, for his ham radio license. Because since we all believe, we see where this country is going, and we believe it can get worse, we all need to be prepared. We need someone everywhere, in every section, to have a ham license radio. Everybody don't need it, but we do need to know. We need people who's going to train on that, train with the weapons, train on doing what that woman is doing. Because I know it's not just easy to say, oh, I'm going to go out here and do this, and you don't know what you're doing. And in order for us to do that, we're going to have to learn to ally with one another. While we are looking outside for allies, but putting all our hatred inside towards one another. And I will tell you, shit, sometimes that's me. Every now and then, I might be pointing mine inside sometime. So we need to start looking inside for allies and seeing what we can work together and what we can bring to the table together to make this place, Africa, the Caribbean, everywhere we live, South America, everywhere we live, make it a better place for Black, African people. You know, now you know I yield the mic.
I mean, that's a solid guy right there, man. That's a solid guy. Appreciate you, Brother Bakari. And shout out to you too as well. Real Black Gentleman, what are your shout out or shout outs for this week?
I guess first of all, I want to shout out my sister. She had her birthday earlier this week, so I'm gonna give a shout out to my sister. I want to give a shout out to the panel, to the program. Once again, we have a program where Africans can go out here and we can talk about what it is that we're doing. We talk amongst ourselves. As far as around the world, just everyone who's just keeping on. The AES always, you know what I'm saying, like always, like it's like I don't want to like glaze on them so much because I see so much going on, but I mean they really, I mean I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of the people of the Sahel. They're fighting that fight, and it's the hardest thing right now. They're truly doing it for Black people, and they'll tell you that's, you know what I'm saying, that it's about dignity, man. And you know what I'm saying, I'm in 150% with them, man. They can't do no wrong, man. They're not doing nothing wrong, man. And you know what I'm saying, just Black people in this country who, you know what I'm saying, just paying attention and shaking off the bullshit, man. Just gotta keep on shaking off. I mean, these motherfuckers out here are just they unhinged. So you know what I'm saying, stay grounded. You know what I'm saying, have each other's back. That's all I'm gonna say, man. Yeah, Black power, man.
Black power indeed, man. RBG in the chat. Trigger Happy says, always shout out to the Alliance. What's up? The AES. If you ain't know, that's Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. What's up? What's up? What's up? Coco911 says, shout out to Emancipation Day, August 1st in the Caribbean. What's up? What's up? What's up, Caribbean? Anthony says, shout out to Jacadero and all the panelists in the chat. Shout out to African people in the AES. Yeah, Koku911 says Black power. Yeah, all day, every day. All right, as far as for me, I mean, before we get into what I represent, let's go ahead and share the screen. Brother Bakari touched on it, said, hey, that not effing around coalition, where did that go? What ended up happening? Well, here in Omaha, Nebraska, something did happen. Let's go ahead and let's take a look. This is one of my 3 shout outs for today. It's the Black Agenda Alliance. Yes, sir. Yeah. This is a solid group of brothers that started their own Not Effing Around coalition back in 2019, I believe. But nonetheless, they teach self-defense classes, and they also get you ready to have your concealed and carry permit here in the state of Nebraska. And as you guys can see, they do a lot, not just only teaching self-defense, but also community hike. Flag day, flag football games, huh? You see it, huh? So again, it's the Black Agenda Alliance. They teach self-defense, but also put on for the community, not just self-defense for men, but also teenagers as well. Somebody that I know that's pretty close to me attended one of their courses for self-defense. So you get armed and trained, huh? If you know what I mean, huh? If you stay ready, you never have to get ready, huh? So, Brother Bakari, I just want you to know, here in Omaha, Nebraska, we're holding the line, and we've held the line for a long time. So, whenever Jam Master Jay or the like-minded ever get jammed up, no pun intended, God damn it, we're on top of things here. We're not effing around in Omaha, Nebraska. I just want to let you know that, Brother Bakari. My second shout out. Man, this is something that's near and dear to me. But as much as there was commotion about Tyler, I don't have anything against Tyler at all. But for Nigerians to stand up and go on social media and say, hey, this is not the right time. No matter what your stance on that was, the fact that they were all on a consensus on social media. I watched so many reels about from Nigerians in Nigeria coming together and saying, no, this is not the right time. Not even close. Tyler, hey, we don't really have an issue with you per se, but nah, don't even think about coming over here. That was solid, because it just says to me that whether it's Gen Z, millennials, or even Gen X, that, man, we can still get all on the same page. Brother Bakari and Real Black Gentleman touched on it a lot tonight. Brother Bakari says that unity word he doesn't like. But what was awesome is the unifying factor for Nigerians back in the continent to collectively say, hey, promoters, don't even think about putting this concert on. This is not the time now. And it just says that if we can do that as a people, I can only imagine the things that we're doing, the things that we're about to do. South Sudan is the youngest country in the world. They're set to go to the polls here in December. And I point that out just because, that act of it in itself, if you guys ever look at the history of South Sudan getting their independence on July 9th, 2011, they went up against the Arab world. The Arab world. Like, they had Sudan fighting them, Libya fighting them. I mean, listen, so many countries, including the UAE, wanted nothing to do with South Sudan becoming independent. But those black people in that country came together and said, so again, this is more about just giving my shout out to the Nigerians back in Nigeria and saying, nah, we're not about to have that. And then, of course, I'm in Omaha, Nebraska. If you want like-minded people, I mean, Brother Bakari, asked about it. Hey, like, do we ever get together? Can we ever have a meetup? One of the many meetups that we can have every single year is the Rebuilding a Village Conference, held in May of every single year. And it just happened. It just happened. So next year's 19th annual Rebuilding a Village Conference put on by the Empowerment Network here in Omaha, Nebraska, you're invited. You that are listening and watching, if you think I'm talking to you, yes, you're invited, man. So visit us, the Empowerment Network. That's www.empoweromaha.com, the official and strongest Black organization here in the Midwest, with sister cities in Memphis, Tennessee, KC, Mo, East Lansing, Michigan, Houston, Texas, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and yes, that Tulsa, the new, and we are a part of building the new Black Wall Street, We got our first ever Black mayor elected last year. First ever in Omaha history. That's us. We put on. So one of the many things that we can do as far as getting together, I invite you guys to the Rebuilding a Village Conference. Connect with me, and not just me, but come and network with not only finance gurus, real estate gurus. You want self-sufficiency? We have people putting on for off-the-grid homesteads. That's Black brothers and sisters alike. I don't know what else to say, man. So Rebuilding a Village Conference every year in Omaha, Nebraska, and that's only by the Empowerment Network. That's www.empoweromaha.com. With that being said, you guys are awesome. I am honored to do this for you guys each and every day, but this doesn't happen unless your guys' input. So without you guys, this doesn't happen. And so not only you can connect with us here at KWAZ Radio on Saturday nights, but you can also join the Discord. Download that purple app, DISCORD, and go ahead and add the Bitter Medicine Podcast. I'm Jacadero, proudly filling in for Brother Koku on Shoot the Breeze episode 251. Let's go!
Thanks for listening to the Bitter Medicine Podcast with your host, Koku. If you like what you just heard, we hope you pass along our web address, bittermedicineblogs.com, to your friends and colleagues, and share our show to all your social media. Be sure to check out our archive section on our website for previous podcasts. This has been a KWAZ radio production. Join us next time for another session of the Bitter Medicine Podcast. Follow us on Facebook at Bitter Medicine Show, Twitter, Bitter Meds, Tumblr, Bitter Meds, Instagram, Bitter Medicine.